Stockholm Commuter Rail is a commuter rail system in Stockholm County, Sweden. The system is an important part of the public transport in Stockholm, and is controlled by Stockholm Transport. The trains are operated under contract by Stockholmståg. The tracks are state-owned and administered by the Swedish Transport Administration. History. Local trains have been operated on the mainline railways around Stockholm since the late 19th century. At the beginning, local rail services were part of the Swedish state railways, but in the late 1960s, the responsibility for these services was transferred to Stockholm County, which incorporated it with the ticketing system of Stockholm Transport. New trains were bought, stations were modernized, and the Stockholm commuter rail network was developed with an aim of making it more metro-like. Originally, the system was branded as SL-Transporttåg, and later as SL-Lokaltåg. Only in the 1980s did the system officially become known as Stockholm's Pendeltåg. In its first year of operation, there was only one route which went from Södertälje to Kungsängen via Stockholm Central Station. On June 1, 1969, the system was extended to Mastervira branch located after Karlberg, and a new service was created in which trains on the Kungsängen branch terminated at Stockholm.The instead. In 1975, another branch line opened to Västerning, with a single-track shuttle service to Nynäshamn. Trains on the Kungsängen branch now terminated at Västerning instead of Stockholm.The, which now forms part of the modern Line 35. From 1986 until 1996, important improvements were made to the railways around Stockholm. Single-track stretches were upgraded to double tracks, and some double-track stretches were upgraded to four-track, allowing the commuter trains to run with less interference from other rail services. The service frequency was gradually increased, and from 2001 most stations on the network are served by trains at regular 15-minute intervals, with additional trains during rush hours. In 2001, the northwestern arm of the network was extended from Kungsängen to Bålsta, and southern infill station at Harstaberg was inaugurated in 2006 in order to connect with the then new T-Varban and light rail system. On August 18, 2008, a new station at Gröndalsviken opened on the southeastern Västerning-Nynäshamn shuttle. Since December 9, 2012, it is possible for Stockholm commuter rail trains to stop at Stockholm Arlanda Airport. It takes 38 minutes from Arlanda-Se station to Stockholm-Se, and 18 minutes from Arlanda-Se to Uppsala-Se. Discussions on the expansion began in December 2007. The airport has had express service from Stockholm Central through Arlanda Express since 1999, and was also reachable by bus from Master Station. The implementation required negotiations between Stockholm Transport and Arlanda Express, who had operating rights for the tracks. Operation of the Stockholm commuter rail lines has been contracted to private companies since 2000. The first franchise holder was City Pendeln, which operated the Stockholm commuter rail from 2000 until June 17, 2006. Since then, the network is currently operated by Stockholmståg, a subsidiary of SJAB, the former Swedish State Railways company. Lines. There are two long lines across the county which run through central Stockholm. Line 35 runs from Nynäshamn in the southeast to Bålsta in the northwest, and Line 36 connects Södertälje in the southwest with Master in the north. The shorter Line 37 in the southwest connects Nästa to Södertälje. Line 38 runs from Uppsala-Se in the northeast to Alfo in the south via Stockholm Arlanda Airport and Stockholm-Se. with some trains continuing to Tumba. The branch to Uppsala C located after Upplands Väsby used by Line 38 utilizes the existing infrastructure of the Arlanda line and a part of the East Coast Line. The total track length of the system is 211 kilometers. The line to Nynäshamn beyond Västerning consists of single track with passing loops. Previously, short platforms and limited passing places meant that a change of train had to be made in Västerning, but as of 2013 the line has been improved with longer platforms and additional loops, and all services are now run through to Stockholm and Bålsta. Trains operate every 30 minutes from 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. every day, with 15-minute intervals during the daytime. Additional trains during rush hours give an average of 7.5 minutes intervals for many stations, and trains every 4.5 minutes on the central parts. Line 37 and outer parts of Line 35 are served less frequently, with up to 2 hours between trains on weekends. Most trains stop at all intermediate stations, except a few trains during rush hours that skip some smaller stations. 269,000 passengers use Stockholm commuter trains on an ordinary weekday. This is almost half of the total number of train passengers in Sweden, the metro and trams not included. Stations. There are 53 stations in the network, 4 of which are beyond the borders of Stockholm County. 8 stations connect with regional and long-distance trains, 3 connect with the light rail tram system Tvärbanan, and 3 stations have access to the Stockholm Metro. Several stations are important interchanges to local buses. Most stations are of a similar style, with an island platform in a ground-level location with 1 or 2 exits, turnstiles, and a staffed ticket office. A few interchange stations have multiple platforms. The stations south of Västerning and Södertälje are smaller, and have no ticket vending facilities. Passengers buy the tickets from the train conductor on these parts of the network. Stockholm Central Station is by far the biggest station in the network, the largest railway station in Scandinavia, with more than 50,000 boarding commuter rail passengers per day. This is the main station if changing from long-distance trains or from the metro. The smallest station is Hemfosa, which has approximately 100 boarding passengers per day. The stations are marked with a J symbol, which just stands for the generic term Jönköping station, and is similar to the T symbol used by the Stockholm Underground Railway stations. The 10 busiest stations, rolling stock. 2 types of rolling stock are currently used on the commuter rail network. The older type, X10, was delivered between 1983 and 1993, and of 50 meters long. A X10 train consists of 2 to 4 units, making the train 100 to 200 meters long. The newer type, X60 Carradia Nordic trains from Alstom was first delivered in 2005, and a total of 71 units were delivered until 2008. A full-length train with 2 X60 units measures 214 meters. The maximum speed is 160 km per hour. The existing fleet of X10 will be phased out and replaced with a new generation of the Carradia Nordic family called X60B. The first of 46 new trains entered service in 2016. The new Citybanan tunnel will have platform doors. The placement is adopted for X60 and do not match the X10 doors. Former X1, X20, X23, BN passenger coaches hauled by SJRC locomotives. X420. Future expansions. The Swedish Rail Administration has approved the construction of a rail tunnel through central Stockholm, with a planned opening date in 2017. This new tunnel, known as Citybanan, is intended for the exclusive use of the pendeltåg system, and would split commuter traffic onto separate tracks from long-distance trains while traveling through the city. This would ease the rail system's congestion problems, and permit Stockholm Transport to schedule more frequent service. Construction of the Citybanan began in 2008. It would also allow more frequent service for other trains, increasing the capacity for large parts of the Swedish rail network since many trains go to and from Stockholm.